disagreeable noise.
Hello everyone out there in YouTube, and welcome to episode 35 of my Doctor Who action figure reviews. In today's review we are taking a look at the Sontaran Experiment set, which was the first of the two Sontaran sets to be released with the Scout ship. I know I said I'd be doing a 60s related review, or possibly a third Doctor review. However, I went into my local Forbidden Planet yesterday, and they surprisingly had a delivery of a lot of old classic series sets, from the TARDIS sets to this set, the Sontaran Experiment set. So if you're local and you are near Forbidden Planet Hanley, you may want to go there, as there are quite a few old Doctor Who sets which, if you didn't get your hands on before, they have quite a few of them now. So, as I just said, this is the Sontaran Experiment set, the first of the two Sontaran sets to be released, the other one being the Time Warrior, of course, and this follows the same formula as that set. You get a Doctor, in this case Tom Baker, you get Field Major Styre from this story, and of course the Sontaran Scout ship. Now, I like this set. I didn't buy it initially because I wasn't overly keen on the Fourth Doctor, and Lynx is my favourite Sontaran, as I mentioned in my previous review, so I was more anxious to wait and get Lynx rather than Styre, but now I've bought this set and I'm very pleased that I did. So to start off with, I'll very quickly talk about the Fourth Doctor, as there isn't much to say about this figure. Essentially, this is the Fourth Doctor that I reviewed with the Fourth Doctor and Genesis Dalek, and the Fourth Doctor from the Genesis of the Dalek set, this being the version with the hat and the solemn head. As you may know, I don't particularly like this figure because it's a variant that doesn't appear in any story. He never wears a red necktie with that waistcoat this early in his tenure. There's no variant like this in his time as the Doctor, but this was the first time they did it, so this is the reason we got the other two releases. But I'm still not overly keen on this figure. It's exactly the same, no mud on the trousers like the Genesis version released with the Dalek. This is just the standard release of this figure. But one thing I have to say, unfortunately it's not a good thing, is that this is the worst example of this figure I've ever come across, and I'll tell you why just by zooming in. As you can see, the face seems to be a bit of a mess. He's looking off to the side, but he just looks like he's had a bit of an accident, and he's got very purple lips, as you can see. But the thing that really bothers me is, if you look between his scarf and his shirt, you can clearly see the plastic body that this piece of rubber's been attached to, because this head isn't properly attached to this body. And the head isn't removable on this version of the figure, so I can't do anything about it. I've tried moving it and everything, so I have to live with the fact that I can see the underbody. So it's very bad quality control, I must say, on a figure that I'm not overly keen on anyway. So that's all I have to say on this Fourth Doctor. Exactly the same articulation as on all Doctors, sonic screwdriver again, but it's exactly the same as the other two versions that we've seen of this figure. So the main highlight of this review is, of course, Field Major Styre. A very nice figure. This figure is essentially exactly the same as Commander Lynx. This was the Sontaran that was released first. It uses the exact same body, albeit with a few modifications to make it the Sontaran from the Sontaran Experiment. First thing I'll do is articulation, as I didn't do this before. The head does not move like the previous Sontaran. The arms can do a 360. You get some movement in the bicep, but you can't do it entirely because of the large torso. The arms can bend, and you get 360 degree movement in the hands. The torso does turn very easily because of the suit. It's very, very nice. It's rubbery at the bottom. I didn't mention this on the previous review. So that turns very easily. The legs can go forward and backward and out to the side on a T-joint crotch piece. And the knees bend, and there is no thigh articulation on this figure. I'm sorry, there is thigh articulation on this figure, as you can see. So that's the articulation. Pretty standard for a figure. And pretty much the same as Lynx. So the detail wise, well, just like Lynx, this is a brilliant figure of Styre, the second best Sontaran makeup in my opinion, and I'll take a look at that by looking at the head sculpt. Now the head sculpt on this one is very, very nice, just like Lynx. They've really done a good job of making the mask of this Sontaran look like an actual head rather than just a rubber mask. This is the same actor, so this is again Kevin Lindsay, and it does look a lot like him. It's almost spot on, in fact, to the story. Obvious difference is it's got a paler skin tone, of course, than Lynx, which is correct to the story. He has a very pale face compared to other Sontarans. Again, you've got the veins on the head, and you have slightly different wrinkles and stuff on this figure. The only problem I have with this head is, unfortunately, you might not be able to see very well on camera, there is a bit of a blob of black paint, a black dot there, which I don't know what it is. It might just be an error, but I can live with that as you can't see it when he's standing like that. But again, a very, very nice head sculpt. Again, you can see the mouth slightly open with the tongue poking out. Unlike Lynx, there is no hair at the side of his head. There actually doesn't have any hair at all, not even a beard, which is true to the story. He didn't have hair in this story. And the head sculpt is just very, very nice. Moving on to the body, the neck bin is different. As you can see, the collar. This one goes up a lot higher than Lynx's. This one goes just below his mouth, whereas Lynx's was down below his chin. It's painted in a matte black finish rather than the silver. It's very, very nice. It's also it's not as wide, it's a lot thinner than the Lynx version. I'll show you Lynx's in a bit. The body is exactly the same. It's the same suit, like I said. It's the same base for this Sontaran, because Sontarans are all the same body, as they are a clone race, so they should look pretty much the same. As you can see, the communicator here is completely silver. This was silver and black with Lynx here. The belt bit is exactly the same sort of pattern. And of course the shoulder pads and the legs, the kneecaps, now have black armor on as opposed to silver, and that is painted in a matte black finish. Very, very nice. And the only other difference to the body is, of course, the boots. This time, the shoes are not just plain leather boots, they are leather boots with armor over them. They are armor plated boots. The reason I say that they've got armor over them is they are the same boots because of the bit silver at the bottom, but this bit has been added over them as well. It's very, very nice. You've got these sections on the feet and these sticking out bits at the back, so that's very, very nice. So all in all, the body sculpt of Styre and the head is fantastic once again. The other differences, of course, are his hands, as oddly enough Styre had human-like hands in the story. He has 5 fingers as opposed to the 3. Again, accurate to the story, and it's a very good thing that they did this rather than just do Sontaran hands with a pale skin colour finish. So that's very, very good. He's got very stubby fingers, which I'm not sure whether that's how they were, but I'm not too fussed. It is very, very good. And of course, you have not a wand weapon this time. You have the ping pong ball gun, as I like to call it, as it does have the ping pong ball at the end. This is a very, very nice copy of the gun. It's a very, very nice miniature. It's spot on to the actual prop. It's got the blue handle, the silver bit there, then you've got the big rectangular orange piece with the black and the 2 screws, the 2 black things on the top, and of course the silver bar with the ping pong ball at the end. How he fires this gun, I have no idea. I can't see a trigger anywhere. And this does slot into the hand. You may have to pry his hand open slightly to get it to fit, but if you just do that, he can hold it very, very well. The helmet is a new sculpt. Once again, it's a completely black helmet. It's again thinner than Lynx's. It's got a larger fender on the top here. There's no insignia, and the eyes are a lot smaller. They're more like smaller ellipses. Again, it's got fantastic detail. You can't see it as well because it's black, but it has got the grating on the eyes, which I'm not sure whether that was in the story, but it's a nice little addition to the sculpt, and it's a very, very nice helmet indeed. Mine's got a slight chipping of the plastic here, but again, you only see it like that. And unlike Lynx's, this one can be a bit of a pain to get on. It's got a different mechanism for getting it on the head, so what I usually have to do is if it'd help if I get it on facing forwards, is try and get it in one end and squeeze and pinch it to try and get it into the other. As you can see, come on, Styre. There we go. There's Styre with his helmet on. He looks very, very cool indeed. I display them without the helmets, but it's a very, very cool look. And I'll just do a quick comparison before talking about the scout ship. There's Field Major Styre and Commander Lynx together, looking very, very cool. You can see the obvious differences in the body here. Of course, the little area for the one weapon is not on Styre. The hands, obviously, different skin tone, and the silver parts of the armour and indeed the helmets are different, but put together they look very, very cool and ready for war. Not like the blue rubber wearing Sontarans, who are about this high and are very, very odd. But they do look very, very cool together, and I will definitely be displaying these two side by side on my shelf, albeit with the helmets removed. So the last thing to look at is, of course, the Sontaran Scout ship. Now, the Sontaran Scout ship is the exact same sculpt as the Time Warrior set sculpt, because this is the one that they based that one upon. It's exactly the same all around. It's a large football-shaped object. The bottom is exactly the same, as you can see, same artistic license with the engine. But the only difference is being that the weathered effect on this one is completely different. Rather than having mud all down the top and going down here, in a sort of two regular pattern, you just have a quick spray all around the bottom of mud and dirt all around here. It's a lot more subtle, and I think it works a bit better as a weathered effect. It's very, very nice. Other than that, exactly the same. Very, very large, very thick piece of plastic. If we open it, again, Portaloo. No detail or a sticker from inside the ship, but in this story you don't really see inside the ship. And the only differences are the door, which is now in the sort of very pale green colour with the 4 yellow diamonds on it, as you can see there. But the thing that annoys me is you can see the serial number and BBC copyright on the door a lot more prominent than on the other Sontaran Scout ship. Why have you put it there? I don't know. Just put it on somewhere else. Put it, even if it was on the black here, written in white or somewhere, just less prominent than the door, because displaying it open, you have that god-awful number and low copyright nonsense. So that's the Scout ship. Not much to say. But it's nice to have another Sontaran Scout ship, as like I said last time, you don't get many vehicles with Doctor Who action figure sets. So that's pretty much it for this review, guys. Like I say, the 4th Doctor, I've never been too fond of that variant because it's not a variant that's in the story. It's very, very bad that this has been released 3 times and never been corrected. I may have to go and customise that at some point. Field Major Styre, absolutely fantastic. I love the figure. Just quickly, there's him stood next to Lynx holding the helmet. As you can see, they're both very impressive. Styre is slightly taller than Lynx, even though they are the same actor, but that's down to the shoes. If you want my opinion on the Sontaran sets, I'd say if you want a set to go with, I'd go with the Time Warrior set personally, if you're a fan of Lynx, as he is, of the two, the superior looking Sontaran, and you get a better Doctor variant, and the Scout ship has a bit more to it. But if you're a completionist, you may want to get both sets, or if you like the Sontaran Experiment set, which it's alright, I like it. But like I say, you do get this Tom Baker again. So feel free to pick which one you like. These both cost £35 to £40. They may be a bit cheaper now. You can get these from Forbidden Planet as an exclusive. If you're local, that's Forbidden Planet Hanley. So thank you for watching this review, guys. If you'd like to know more information, check out Batman March's blog, or check out his own review of these two sets, the Time Warrior set and the Sontaran Experiment set. And my next review will either be the Chase set and Enemies of the Third Doctor set, or possibly Revenge of the Cybermen set, as I haven't done that one yet. So thank you for watching this review, guys, and I shall see you in my next Doctor Who action figure review.